welcome to another amazing video with the Elite Tutor, where learning is made simple. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at an amazing concept, which is the concept of compound interest. Now listen, before we go solving, when we say compound interest is simply the amount that is being calculated on the original money and the interest that has been added already. It is simply the amount that is being calculated on the original money and the interest that has been added. In order to break this down, we can just simply say that compound interest is simply the interest on the interest. So let's go follow closely as we solve the following questions. Now, before solving the following questions, I would like to show you that the formula for compound interest. Now we have that our amount is equal to P, or bracket 1 plus R over 100 raised to power T. Now when solving compound interest, we make use of this formula. But this formula helps us to ascertain the value of our amount. This formula helps us to ascertain the value of our amount. And why is this formula important? This formula is important because we need to ascertain the amount. Reason being that the formula for our compound interest is, we have that compound interest is equal to amount minus principal. So we have to ascertain the amount, and the formula for calculating the amount is A, our amount equal principal, or bracket 1 plus R divided by 10 raised to power T, where our R in this formula represents our rate and our T represents our time. I want you to follow this video closely because I'm going to be showing you how to find the rate, how to calculate the rate when the rate is not given, and how to calculate the time when the time is not given. I'm also going to be showing you how the law of indices also applies when calculating the time. So I want you to follow this video to the end. Now let's look at the very first question. We have the first question. Find the compound interest on $50,000 at 10% per annum for 3 years. Now this question is asking us to find the compound interest. The question is not asking us to find the amount. Question 1 says, let's solve question 1. We are asked to find the compound interest. And based on our formula for compound interest, amount minus principal. Before we can ascertain our compound interest, we need to ascertain our amount. Because in this question, our principal here is $50,000. We have our rate and we have the year. So we have to first of all ascertain the amount. And the formula for amount is A into P, or bracket 1 plus R over 100 raised to power T. Now we have that A is equal to our P is the principal, which is $50,000 into 1 plus our R, which is our rate, 10%, 10 over 100, raised to power T. Our T is what? 3 years, which is 3. Now let's simplify. We have that A is equal to 50,000 into 1 plus 10 divided by 100. If you point your calculator, we have that 10 divided by 100 is going to give us 0.1. So we have plus 0.1 raised to power 3. Let's first of all take care of what is inside our brackets. So we have that amount is equal to $50,000 into 1 plus 0.1 will give us 1.1. 1.1 raised to power 3. And finally we have that amount is equal to 50,000. Now we are going to what? We are going to solve for what's in our bracket, which is 1.1 raised to power of 3. If we point our calculator, let's confirm from our calculator, 1.1 raised to the power of 3 is going to give us 1.331. So 1.1 raised to the power of 3 will give us 1.331. And then finally, the value for our amount, we'll have that A is equal to, so when we have 50,000 all brackets 1.331, it simply means 50,000 times 1.331. And then our final answer will give us 66,550. So now, this is the value for our amount. But the question is not asking for the amount, the question is asking for the compound interest. And based on the compound interest, the formula is amount minus principal that gives us the interest. And like I said earlier, when we say compound interest is simply what? Interest on interest. The interest that is being calculated on the original amount after interest has already been added. So therefore, to ascertain our compound interest, we have that our compound interest will be equal to our amount. What is our amount? Which is what we got to 66,550 minus our P. Our P is the principal in the equation, which is $50,000. Now our compound interest, if we convert from our calculator, we'll have that compound interest give us $16,550. So let's add our sign. So the compound interest for this question is $16,550. At this point, we've been able to ascertain the compound interest. I want you to follow closely. Now, with this first question, we'll be able to ascertain the compound interest. In the next question, we are going to show you how to ascertain the amount. In our third question, we're going to show you how to find the rate. And the final question, I'm going to show you how to find the time. So I want you to follow closely and don't miss any of these questions. Now let's go over to example 2. Now we have example 2. Example 2 says, find the amount on $80,000 at 12% for 2 years. Find the amount on $80,000 at 12% for 2 years. Here, for example 2, they are not asking us for the compound interest. They are basically asking us for the value of the amount. They are asking us for the value of the amount. Now we are going to use our amount formula, which is A is equal to P into 1 plus R over 100 raised to power T. Now let's bring out our parameters. We are looking for the amount which is A. Our P based on this question is $80,000. Our P based on the question is $80,000. Our R based on the question, our rate is 12%. And finally, our time is 2. So these are our parameters. So we go ahead to input our parameters into the formula. So we have that amount is equal to P, which is 80,000, into 1 plus my R is 12. So 12 over 100 raised to power T. My T is 2. Now we have that amount is equal to $80,000, all brackets 1 plus. Now we have that what is 12 over 100? If we convert from our calculator, 12 divided by 100 will give us 0.12, all raised to power 2. Okay, so we have that 12 over 100 gives us 0.12. So we have 1 plus 0.12 raised to power 2. Now let's go further to simplify. So we have that A is equal to 80,000 or bracket 1 plus 0.12 gives us 1.12. 1 plus 0.12 gives us 1.12 raised to power 2. We first of all take care of what is inside the bracket. So we have that A is equal to 80,000 into now 1.12 raised to power 2. If you convert from our calculator, we'll have that 1.12 raised to power 2 gives us 1.2544. And like I said earlier during the first example, when we have 80,000 into bracket 1.2544, it simply means 80,000 times 1.2544. So when we have 80,000 times this, our final amount, by the time we point our calculator, our final amount gives us 100,352. Now in this question, our amount is 100,352. Here we've been able to ascertain the amount. There are times when the question can ask you for the amount and also still find the compound interest. Very easy. After ascertaining the amount, all we just need to do is compound interest is equal to amount minus my principal. So in this scenario, my amount is 100,352 minus my principal, which is 80,000. That gives me my compound interest. But this question, they are just asking for the amount. Hope you're all following. Now,